It's time for another mega-sized IPO. This week, it's Coty Cosmetics, $1 billion IPO. And if you're not familiar with this company, well, you're probably already familiar with their products. They do cologne from celebrities like J-Lo and Beyonce. They also own the Philosophy Cosmetics line, the skincare line, and then they own OPI nail products. So, Francis Gaskins, you're now the director of research at equities.com. You seem to like this company. I think they're fantastic. They did have a charge last year, which kind of made the numbers look a little wonky, but I think going forward, there's a lot of opportunity here.
Well, there's a lot of excitement, and you're excited about it, and most of the women that I know are excited about it because I've asked them. The men don't really know, but for the March quarter this year versus last year, the revenue was flat, which is not great, but their profit margin went up to 6%. As you said, they had a loss last year, $350 million loss, asset write-off, that kind of thing. They may have just been preparing for this year. In March of last year, they earned $33 million. This year, they earned about $230 million. So it's a big deal in terms of earnings increase. I'm not sure they can grow it without growing top line revenue. And if you look at their profit margins compared to Estee Lauder and L'Oreal, those two have profit margins after tax about 12 or 13%. This one has about 6%. So there's probably a way if they can compete to go ahead and increase their profit margin. The other companies have, one of them has a $100 million market cap, so they're really playing with the big boys. They're being priced a little bit on a discount on price to earnings, and they're paying a dividend that's a little bit lower than the others, so they're in the category. I think a lot of the institutions, like the category, and they're going to go ahead and buy this stock. So I think it'll edge up, on the IPO. And as I said, on a longer term basis, they have to get behind top line revenue and increase that more.
Well, I think that, as you mentioned, they are going up against some more established players that have been in the market for many more years. Coty has been building its name, from a small amount of sales to really building into a powerhouse by making a lot of acquisitions. I would expect that we'll see more acquisitions from them, especially on the color side, because that's really where they're trying to grow their business, is in the color side.
Well, the interesting thing about Coty is they tried to acquire Avon, which they didn't do. But I think you're right. They'll do acquisitions and increase and broaden the product line. One thing I wanted to mention: if you look at price to tangible book value, they have a negative price to tangible book value, which means that their equity owners stripped out a lot of cash. The other companies in the category all have positive price to tangible book values.
Well, they were owned by a wealthy German family, and a family that's tried to keep private. So, not surprised to see that. I believe they owned it for some time. Well, sounds like Francis likes this IPO. Sounds like I like this IPO. We'll keep an eye on Coty when it goes public later this week.